Welcome to Yael and Matt Recap Stuff. Good morning. We're doing, we ask you for requests for movies to watch. One of our friends and viewers and listeners requested us not watch a movie, so we watched it. Kind of.
Yeah.
We watched a remake of a movie called Inside, which was based on a French movie. So we watched the American version.
I even didn't know that there's
Well, that's happened several times this month, where we've watched the remake of a movie that we didn't know.
Which one?
Existed. Oculus.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but the Oculus was
another movie.
Remake.
There were remakes of short movies.
Yeah, but this was like an actual movie. And all the
short movies are still actual movies.
I believe that every person that told me like, oh my god, wow, don't watch it, that's crazy, watch the real one, because this one was kind of like, what?
I mean, it was a disturbing subject matter.
Yeah, the subject was very
mad about it the whole time.
Yes, in the beginning, but then the movie became like really stupid.
No, I would say you got mad at it not in the beginning, in the later parts of the movie.
Yeah, when it was like, oh come on, like seriously.
Yeah, but you just said the beginning. You immediately contradicted yourself.
No, in the beginning I was disturbed by the idea of the movie, which is very disturbing.
So this movie starts off with an infographic talking about how there's like 300 infants that get kidnapped every year.
Are these real facts?
I don't have an infant fact monitor. And
get one.
And most of the time the mother doesn't survive. So this movie starts off with a car crash with a husband or a wife or a married couple. I'm married, just having a baby. A bastard. And they're talking about names.
Thought that, yeah, they were talking about the names, and I thought it was very funny that the wife is asking her husband, it's like, she asked him, like, how do you think we should call our daughter? And they're like, oh, come on, like, you don't have that in your mind since you're, like, 5 years old. Like, we know exactly what's the name of our kids.
Yeah, well, you still have to get permission from your husband, because So...
We're carrying the baby.
Well, guess what?
We
The
don't
husband's
anything.
permission doesn't matter.
Oh, come on.
Because he dies in a head-on collision because the
That's
wife
true.
is driving. And so then you see the car upside down, and she's bleeding through her ear, and then it cuts to her in the hospital. Doctor says there's some bumps and bruises, but she's okay. The baby's okay. And she doesn't drive anymore, so she takes a cab with this high-spirited Jamaican man back to Sunset Grove, which is a part of Chicago, which is the city that I
want to
identified.
go to Chicago.
Did you write it down?
Yes.
Of course you did. And then it's like this new community, not fully developed yet, across the street from a sketchy people. Kind of looks like the type of people that collect scrap metal. You don't actually see the people, but it's kind of like a half-finished house.
It's half-finished house. They're still working on it.
But scrap metal people probably will live there. And so she's talking to her mom on the phone.
Matt loves scrap. How do you say that?
Scrap metal.
Scrap metal people.
Mom's come by later to help her. She's a now single mom. So Isaac, her gay friend, and his dog come by. Or she's bringing his gay friend. Her gay friend is bringing her dog by, I guess. And he gives her a gift. It's a baby monitor. They get a telemarketer call from Matt. Makes her sad. But she kind of likes that people keep asking for Matt. She declines.
So here I wrote, it doesn't feel like a typical horror movie, but a fucked up, sad movie. And then I wrote, so far it's a very heavy drama. It was like so sad. She didn't stop crying since the beginning.
She wasn't crying. It was just 5 minutes of the movie. She's sad.
It's like very sad, very sad, very sad. A lot of sadness.
She just killed her husband with her female driving. She didn't practice enough, and so she...
Matt says I need to practice my driving sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. It's when he doesn't want to give me his car, so I don't need to practice. But sometimes he needs me to drive him somewhere, so I need to practice.
Yeah, you're gonna be practicing driving home from Connecticut tomorrow.
What? No, I'm not. I don't have insurance.
You do. I paid $200 extra for that. Look at the bill.
What?
What?
I don't want to drive back. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna drive in Israel.
Let's speak.
Let them
So
speak.
she tells her, Isaac, it's the day before Christmas, declines the invite over their house. She puts her key in her mailbox for
It's
Isaac.
a very stupid mistake, like in general in life. Don't.
Okay. Well, the creepy house next door leaves the light on. She goes to take a bath, take a nap, takes her dog Excalibur, and he spills milk. It's banging on the door. A dark figure doesn't answer her hello, and then you hear a woman's voice say, "I have to make a phone call.
By the way, I had something.
I have a problem with my car."
I had something.
Yeah.
Something funny. She was sitting in the bath and she started to talk to the baby instead of the stomach. Sometimes I'm talking to my stomach too. It's the food that I ate. Like, yeah, we had fun together. Right? Now we need to get out.
So you're shitting in the bath in this scenario?
No, after that.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So the voice creeps her out. She says, "My husband is sleeping. I can't let you in to make a phone call."
So here that was when the action started basically, and that was when I started to like lose interest in the realism. Like, it wasn't scary, it was very stupid because I was like, oh, people are not that stupid. People that create horror movies or even remaking horror movies, like, think that you have to like consider the fact that people are not very stupid like you make them sometimes.
Okay, I didn't think the movie got stupid at this point. I thought it got creepy. It brought the action out. Like the voice says, "Why are you lying? Your husband is dead."
Right?
So how the fuck does this voice know that your
Call to the
husband's dead?
police and tell them that.
Well, she threatens to call the police, and then
The
she
police
waits
came.
several minutes, and
Okay?
then she does it. The police come by.
And that's the only thing that she didn't tell them. That character that knocked on the door
Post
didn't
door.
have... I don't want to, I'm mad.
It's 1 a.m.
I don't care, I'm mad.
So
They have a dog, I can scream. Maybe they don't. Anyway, so I was like, that's the biggest part of the scariest, that's the scariest part of that figure situation. Like, she knows that her husband is dead, she knows something, she knows her. And she didn't say that to the police.
yeah, the police come by. They're kind of dicks. They look around the house a little bit, and then you see a slow pan over to the mailbox. And then she goes back to bed. Excalibur is on the bed, but he's not allowed to. Why wouldn't you let your dog be on your bed?
I
You just
hate
lost your
dogs in
husband.
horror movies.
So she goes to sleep. She takes her hearing aid out. Excalibur barks. We hear Excalibur's neck snap, and he dies off screen.
Wait, I had other things to say. It amazed me how the police here in America comes very fast. In Israel, you can call them and, oh, someone is murdering me. And they'll be like, wait, hold on, can you wait on the line, please? And they just like hang up on you. They don't really care. Are you excited for going to Israel, Manny? And then I wrote no more movies with dogs. And why the hell would you steal a baby? And why? That's a good point. Why does it take
First
them?
of all, we haven't even got to that point yet. So you just asked, why the hell would you steal a baby? I mean, we know that's what the movie's going to be
Yeah,
about.
that's what I know. That's where I wrote it. But I wrote, why does it take them so long in movies to call the police all the
She
time?
called the police pretty soon after it happened. So
Yeah, but now we're...
so she's sleeping. She has no hearing aids. She doesn't hear the woman come into the house from using her keys, I guess. She enters the room, douses a rag, puts it over the girl's mouth, Sarah, and then caresses the belly, bandages her wrists, and gets her ready for procedure. Washes her hands, much like a doctor. Sarah wakes up at this point, puts her hearing aid in. The doctor lady, that's how I'll refer to her from now on, comes in, they fight. Sarah goes in the bathroom.
In the French version, they call her la femme, the woman.
Okay. So the doctor lady says, you should know who I am and what I'm looking for. Pulls her towards the door with the long bandage that's still attached to her arm. Sarah frantically cuts it with little nail clipping scissors. The bathroom door banging continues. Sarah's phone rings in the other room. The doctor lady goes for it. Sarah smashes the mirror to get a piece of glass.
That's another very stupid thing. Like that's what I just said to the creators of those movies. Don't make your characters be so stupid. It doesn't make sense, and it's not fun to watch a movie that doesn't make sense. So she broke the mirror, and that's Matt said, and I was like, I agreed with him. So instead of like holding, I don't know, take a towel or like make somehow like a handle or something. You're in the bathroom. It's not, you don't have time, and you just like, she grabbed it with her hand.
I mean, this lady did just get drugged and wake up from that and having a fight. So she's not thinking so clearly. Then she starts to get contractions while she's on the floor.
I had something. My biggest conclusion of that month, every person in the world should have a screwdriver in his bathroom. We learned it in a few movies already. The boy, it wasn't in the bathroom, but it helped her. The human in Human Resources, and now she was stuck in the bathroom with no screwdriver.
Yeah, meanwhile the doctor lady goes to get a knife, and Isaac walks in.
She's stronger than a screwdriver, but still.
The doctor lady says she's Sarah's mother. And then Sarah leaves the bathroom having more labor pains. She doesn't hear what's going on because her hearing aid has died. Isaac and Lady Doctor talk.
That's something. Also, when she broke the mirror, I wrote, "Oh, now 7 years of bad luck." It's true. It started right away.
Seems like her bad luck has already began before she broke the mirror.
Yeah. Now it's gonna continue for 7 years.
Well, she calls it.
And by the way, I wrote here, and I was confused because most bathrooms should have a window, unless it's like an apartment building that they're like trying to divide it and then they change everything. But usually, you put a bathroom on the side of the wall for having like that air circulation. And I was wondering how they don't have like in that such a big house and no window in the bathroom.
Well, we don't have a window in our bathroom, so.
Yeah, but that's what I said. We live in an apartment building that remade many times, so they.
So the doctor lady and Isaac are talking downstairs, and she has convinced him that she's her mom, Sarah's upstairs, she's just getting some rest. And then as she's walking Isaac out, a cab pulls up, and then a real older mom comes up, walks up to the door, and Isaac asks, "Who are you?" And she's like, "I'm her mother." And then she walks in, and so now he is weirded out. He really probably realizes what's going on because she called him earlier and warned him that she got this creepy phone call, or the girl came to her house. Not a phone call.
But she gave her mom, like the real mom, to enter to the house like right away. She's like.
She just walked past her.
No, but she was like. She didn't like.
She didn't know what to do.
No, it looked like she was like very cool with all of that situation, and she knew what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of a big kind of a realism plot hole jump. This whole next sequence, but the mom goes upstairs. Isaac doesn't like freak out and be like, "Okay, you're the crazy bitch," and run away. Instead, he lets the mom go in a few steps, and then he goes in like a minute after her. So of course, now that Sarah is out of the room, she gets her hearing aid battery fixed, and she has the piece of glass ready, so she hides behind the door of her own bedroom. So as soon as the mom goes upstairs, she comes into the room, Sarah hears movement, and she stabs her mom in the neck, and blood pours, and she dies while Sarah cries over her. And then Isaac comes upstairs, Dr. Lady stabs him from behind, and then Sarah escapes back to the bathroom again.
Yeah, so that was kind of like, no, it doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
All that scene. It was perfectly right for the bad guys. It's like, doesn't make sense. There has to be like some realness in horror movies.
Well, it happened anyway. So Sarah is in the bathroom, multiple stabs of the knife through the door. Lady Doctor yelling, "Let me help you." It turns out Isaac is not quite dead. He's kind of moaning. His phone rings. It's Brian, his boyfriend, or life husband maybe. And then so she just shows him the screen with his picture on it while pinching his nose and mouth and suffocating him.
Stop!
What?
It was a disgusting
People don't know what
scene.
they're looking at.
I hated that scene. It was
Okay.
like, oh, come on, it's not horror.
Well, this is your choice for the movie. What do you mean it's not horror? It's killing someone in a sadistic way.
Yeah, but it was more sad than horrified. It was sad to watch it.
It's fucked up thing.
Yeah,
to
but
do.
when I'm watching a horror movie, I don't want to be sad. I want to be like scared or like disturbed by anything. It was just like a very sad moment. I was like
I would
more
say it's more
sad.
disturbing.
In this I found the description for the movie. I was more sad than horrified.
Okay.
And I don't want to watch movies to be sad.
Well,
I can watch dramas.
Picked this movie when you were warned that it was disturbing.
Yes, but it's not that movie that was disturbing.
But it doesn't matter. It's still,
It matters. It doesn't
upsetting
matter.
things, so don't get upset about it.
I want to
I
watch the
picked a
real
movie
one.
that we watched later that was upsetting for a whole different reasons.
For both of us.
So Sarah tries to smash the little small window, but she can't fit
Oh yeah,
through
there
it.
is a window in the bathroom. She just thought about it like,
Yeah, but she can't fit through it with her pregnant belly.
So
It's one of
what?
those
She can
windows that pulls out. and
try.
It's not a slide-up window. And she sees concerned Brian
And by
across
the way,
street.
the door in the bathroom is super strong.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it doesn't break. It's amazing, impressive.
But you can stab through it a little bit.
A little bit.
So she sees Brian across the street, and the smashing on the door has stopped, but the lady doctor has put a big heavy dresser in front of it. So Sarah is trying to signal to Brian across the street, who's on the phone. He sees her, kind of gestures to the phone, and then before she can explain with her hand gestures, lady doctor is behind him, stabbing the shit out of him, and he's dead. So she goes to leave, but she's barricaded in. So she attempts to smash the door with the top of the toilet cover. Not a bad idea. It's very heavy. But she only...
Yeah, it's very heavy for a pregnant woman that is about to give birth. That's what I'm saying.
She
It's
can
not
still
realistic.
pick up 30 pounds. It's not... She's not picking
I
up
don't
an
think
entire
so.
toilet.
I've never been pregnant, but I've seen like
You
9
think
months.
a woman cannot pick up 30 pounds?
I've seen like
Send all your
pregnant
emails
ladies.
to yaelmag7@gmail.com, pregnant ladies.
If you're a pregnant woman and you're in the last days of your pregnancy, and you can hold the top of the toilet and you can break a door,
She can't break
just
the door.
send me a message. I want to see that happening.
But she can't break the door. She only makes
Yeah, she
like
did
a
a hole. Yeah, because the door is
arm-sized
very
hole.
strong.
But this door was already stabbed up, so she basically just kept...
While you're walking on
Alright,
on
are you going to
glass.
break down every unrealistic part of this
Yes.
very unrealistic
Yeah,
movie?
that's why we're recapping.
Alright, well,
I don't want to just read what happened.
you have any other notes?
No. I'm waiting for the officer.
So she
Spoilers or
makes
spoilers?
this hand hole and obviously can't move a dresser by putting her hands through there. And a doctor lady comes in, grabs her hand, and she grabs it back, and then she cuts the lady's hand.
Oh yeah, so the lady that puts her hand inside of the hole, she's trying to open the door, and she has all the options to do something, but she picked just like to scratch her instead of. She could break
used up all
her
of her
arm.
strength to picking up a 30-pound thing. So
She could use that to fucking break her arm.
No, she can't pick it up anymore.
She's pregnant.
Right. She realized you're right.
She realized, yeah.
So there's an old cop and a young girl cop outside, and they're arguing about who's going to check in on them. It's just like a routine follow-up. The older guy cop does it. He seems skeptical, and while he's doing this, Sarah breaks the barricade, but he doesn't hear it from outside because it's really heavy rain going on. And the lady cop, he goes back to the car, and the lady cop says something like, "Oh, I thought should have gone into labor by now, and you'd be the midwife." And then the old cop realizes he fucked up
because he didn't notice she's not pregnant. It's like a typical man. Like, oh my god, did you do something?
He forgot that detail. He wasn't the one that went by before, so he doesn't realize he's talking to a different girl. So he goes back in, and as Sarah's coming down the stairs, he notices her, and then Lady Doctor reacts by stabbing the cop in the side of the face.
Yeah.
And he starts pouring a lot of blood.
And I was like, she did such a good job, like, till now, with, like, killing and being, like...
panicking.
You stabbed a
alive.
person in the face, what are you gonna get with it?
Bloody, messy.
Yeah.
So, she grabs the knife and stabs
Also, like,
him.
you've never watched horror movies?
Pretty much stabs him to death. And then the lady cop is waiting and finally seems worried.
And then I wrote, I thought the young officer will save the day. She got the look. But guess what happened?
And she doesn't save the day.
The creators made her the stupidest person on earth.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then the doctor lady says
Can I call the Chicago police and complain about, like, I'm
worried
that, like...
I think they have enough problems. So the doctor lady says, "See what you've gone and done," which is a classic blaming the victim.
No, by the way, in the last few days, he kept, like, saying on every single thing, like, "Oh my god, look what you've made me done." Made me do.
I don't say it in
You
broken
made me
English.
do.
And then
With
Sarah's
the accent.
whimpering from under the bed as the doctor lady goes up to get her. And so she goes under the bed, and it's the baby monitor. Oh, Isaac's gift pays off. And so then Sarah clocks her with the toilet lid, somehow, despite the fact that she's pregnant. And she knocks her onto the bed. She goes downstairs, and that's in the lady part. Lady cop marches in, and she's like,
Not
"Stop!
very smart person.
Go upstairs! Go upstairs now!"
And I wrote the perfect sentence to describe the situation. The young officer is so fucking stupid.
Yeah. And so she goes upstairs to show her the girl that's been doing this, but of course she is not there. And then she starts going into labor, so the lady cop says, "Stay here." Like, where the fuck else is she gonna go? So the police officer goes downstairs.
No, and Sarah's like, "Please don't leave me alone."
Yeah, and then the lights go off. They lose power. So
and then I wrote, "This officer is a joke." Yeah. Like, seriously, people that make horror movies don't make your characters extremely stupid. It doesn't make
them be excellent police officers.
No, make them like a normal police officer. Police officers are not that stupid. Like, no one is that stupid.
Yeah. So the police officer goes downstairs to try to find the circuit board to turn all the lights back on. And instead, she finds a bullet in her eye from the lady doctor. Sarah starts walking downstairs, steps on glass, gratuitous glass removing from foot scene. And then...
Where did the glass came from? No one knows.
Something smashed in the doorway or something.
There was just like a lot of pieces of glass on the floor. a lot.
I think there was a struggle with the
I
car.
don't remember anything.
So she sees the dead body of Excalibur, the dog. Lady doctor knocks her down, rubs scissors on her belly, tells her that the baby is coming with me one way or the other.
And in that moment, I was like, okay, she killed everything. She doesn't have anything in her life anymore. Her friends, her mom, her dog, like...
Or local police.
The local police. Just give her the baby and die.
Yeah, I don't think that's
That's
a good alternative.
Weird. She was so sad before that. She was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise them alone.
Yeah, well, what do you think she's going to do when she traumatically has a baby removed from her stomach by a stranger?
Don't live in Chicago.
Around
the police.
Dead bodies.
The police there is not that.
So Mike, the older cop, is apparently still twitching. He's going for the radio. So she cuts his throat with scissors. And then Sarah fights with her and hits her with a camera, so you get a lot of dramatic flashing scenes going on. Locks her in the house, goes to the cruiser, but the lady doctor goes after her. Instead of getting in the cruiser and immediately driving away, she fucks around with the radio, and then...
She told the police that... Oh, by the way, when the police... The stupid police officer came in, and like... When she tried to understand what's going on, she called for help. Yeah. She said, like, in the, how do you call it?
In the police radio.
Yeah, she asked for help, and they said, like, okay, we're sending someone. I think they sent someone from, like, Florida or something.
Maybe the Florida PD room.
They're on the way. It takes like a while.
It's Christmas Eve, so there's less people.
It doesn't matter. A police officer is saying that they need help.
Come on, they're in Sunset Grove. This is a distant suburb.
It doesn't matter. It's still Chicago.
Cab drivers haven't even heard of it. And so they drive off with the lady doctor trying to stab her in the car. And
Sarah called the police again from the car. She was like, I need help, blah, blah, blah. The police officers are dead. And still, like, it took them, like, I don't know, forever. Yeah. And they were driving. It felt like they were driving for a while. Like, struggling. She's trying to, like...
Probably weren't driving that fast. And they're driving, struggling, and then...
They drove.
There's a car crash.
Yeah. And Sarah left the car, and in front of her...
Yeah, well, she's stuck. She couldn't get out her side, so she has to crawl over the lady doctor. And then she goes into the house across the street.
Who's
the
that?
Creepy light on.
Yeah, that's the house across her house. So basically, they didn't drive anyway.
Yeah, so no one is there, and so she goes upstairs, and she realizes that it's the lady doctor's stalker lair. There's pictures of her up all over the wall. There's a camera focused on her living room, and then the lady doctor wanders up, starts babbling about how babies hear everything when they're inside. And Sarah's hiding in the closet, and she's...
I wrote here before, like, we understood, like, exactly what happens. I was like, so it's just a woman who's very desperate for a baby. And when we want something, we will get it. I don't want a baby now, though.
Yeah.
I have dreams.
So Sarah stabs her in the neck with a needle of
Don't
pregnancy-inducing drugs or something. She realizes she's, like, locked into the house. She's looking for weapons. The lady doctor enters. Apparently, pregnancy drugs don't take you down. And Sarah threatens to stab the baby. The lady doctor immediately calls her bluff. So Sarah says she was doing that as a distraction because she already started heating up a pot of water.
Oil.
Was it oil?
Yeah, it was oil. That's why I said it takes it takes forever. She put it like in a lot in. It's not like a little bit for like onion. She put a lot of oil, and usually it takes like at least 5 minutes.
And it usually burns for 8 days.
Yes, in Hanukkah.
So she throws the hot liquid on her face.
Oil.
And
you don't believe me now?
All the lights turn on. The lady doctor comes in and
then I
chases her into the backyard pool.
I wrote before that they called the police a few times so long time ago. Where are they coming from? Florida?
Oh,
It's my joke
classic.
again. Yeah,
Classic callback
Thank
of
you,
writing
thank
down
you.
and reading, which we've
Thank
already
you
talked
very
about.
much.
It's what everyone watches for.
I wasn't sure that they wrote it, so I'm like.
Well, I'm
If
glad
you
that
missed
I'm
the
glad
other
you've confirmed
minutes.
that you wrote it. We'll post a picture of it on Instagram. And so they're fighting over the top of a covered in-ground pool.
And then I remembered, so I wrote it. Sarah said to the baby earlier when they were like hanging out in the bath. So she told the belly, the stomach. I don't know, like she told the baby inside of her stomach, "You like it underwater, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, she's probably gonna give birth underwater or something." It's very cliche.
Yeah, no midwife there though. And so then the big reveal is that the lady doctor says, "You took mine. It's only fair you give her to me." Because it's revealed that she was in the car that Sarah drove head first into, killing her baby that she was pregnant with at the time. So Sarah asks, "What were you going to name her?" And she says, "Isabella," and then says, "Shitty name," and then takes the knife and cuts the cover of the pool, so they both fight underneath it.
And then it looks when they're under it and they go upstairs, it looks like a birth. It was
There's no
disgusting.
stairs.
No stairs, like up
to the surface.
Water, yeah, up to the surface.
Yeah, so they fight under, and Sarah fatigues and starts to float to the bottom, and then Lady Doctor saves her.
Yeah,
cuts
because
the
he's
cover
such
up.
a good person.
She wants to save the baby mostly, and then so she pushes her through the cover, but she doesn't have any strength to get herself out at this point. So Sarah climbs up there. And
but like this, like she's giving a birth to, like, I don't know, it was so like a C-section.
A birth within a birth.
It was disgusting. And then
I
wrote,
didn't even think about that.
and
C-section.
I wrote, and people say birth is beautiful. I don't believe them.
Yeah, and this is also a typical 5-second birth, which is very unrealistic.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was like, ah.
And so she's just crying with the baby.
It's like me going to the bathroom after I'm talking to my stomach. 2 seconds and it's gone.
Yeah. So yeah, she's just crying with the baby on top of the pool cover.
And the movie in French, which I really want to watch because I heard that, like, I read some reviews and then I talked with the person that told us not to watch it, and apparently we watched the wrong movie because I was like, oh, come on, seriously? And then she said, like, oh my god, no, and she said something about the end, and I was like, that's not what we watched. And she asked me if I want her to tell me what happened, or I'm gonna watch it, and I think we're gonna watch it, at least the end of it. It calls À l'intérieur, which is inside in French.
Well, we're not gonna just watch the end of it. If we're gonna watch it,
we're gonna watch it all.
thing.
Okay. It's 2007 and stars. The star is Alison Paradis.
And Gerard Depardieu.
No, but Nicolas Devachel. I love him. Very handsome. And
can't wait to see him die in a car crash.
Alison Paradis is Vanessa Paradis' sister.
Oh, okay.
It's Lily Rose Depp's mother. She's a legend.
Yeah.
She had sex with Johnny Depp. What did you do with your life? You didn't have sex with Johnny Depp.
My life is still young.
Yeah.
So
you might have sex with Johnny Depp. No, for a fun ending moment, we're gonna read my favorite review, because all the reviews were kind of the same, but this one made me laugh so hard. So I'm gonna. Do you want to read it?
No, I want to hear you read it.
Where do I begin? Obviously, it gave like 1 star. Okay. I would love to slap the idiot that made this movie. I'm with him, by the way.
Just read it.
How about the fact that one woman takes on 2 police officers, one of which sees a blood trail and never bothers to call it in? She stupidly goes downstairs and gets herself shot. All the while never bothering to call the stupid incident in. Real police would never act that way or be that stupid.
But she did call it in.
No, I don't think so. I think she didn't press it or something. They didn't
come
show
on.
up, but they didn't
Yeah,
come.
but she called it in, so this reviewer did not pay attention to
No,
that.
come on. Okay,
Your
they have
favorite
other things.
viewer is in
Real. Wow, where was I? But the idiotic writers of this show think they would. They are trained in calling in things when they just seem out of the ordinary.
Alright, so this is clearly a police officer that is writing this review.
Forget a blood trail. Then you have the call in finally from a police vehicle from a victim, and it takes them forever to get there. Then you have a pregnant woman doing stunts that an athlete would have a hard time doing. She was like running like crazy.
She wasn't running that much.
She ran. She ran to the pool.
Swam and
She ran to the pool. She swam. She did everything.
Alright, okay, lower
She
your
did
voice.
stuff that I'm
Stop
like not
yelling.
pregnant can do. And
Like read.
what?
Keep going.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget the fact that she is pregnant. And after all of this, she and her child supposedly survive by her giving birth in the rain on top of a pool. This movie is way beyond stupid. I would not rate this as a 1 star even. I just did that because it had no lower rating. I would give this movie a 0. That is how stupid and idiotic I think the writers of this movie were. I just do not think you can get worse than this. But I have to say that most of the reviews were very mad at the recap. So they said the remake. So they said that the real movie was crazy. It was like a masterpiece. It was something else, and this remake just ruined everything.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll judge the
We're gonna
masterpiece.
watch the masterpiece and see what's going on. I'm gonna update you
And then
in a special bonus, like all the rest of our bonuses that we didn't do.
And we'll do the original recap version.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching a remake recap.
Yael Matt recap. Yeah, the original. We're gonna recap this in French.
Yeah. Avec plaisir, mon chéri.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui.
Adieu.
There is nothing like that.
I bid you adieu is a French term.
Non, c'est pas vrai.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.